This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Rifen, over here with my co-host Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
What is up, Garrison? I forgot to talk to you about this before we started recording, but I think we're officially changing the podcast name to CD23 Podcast.
Oh, okay.
Man, I actually enjoyed the D23 presentations more than Comic-Con. I don't know. Disney just does production better. And they make it very fun to watch all their stuff. They had the parks panel last night. The day we're recording is a Sunday, so they had it last night. And Neil Patrick Harris was sort of the MC of it, and he just makes things fun. And then the huge movie panel. They had all like Feige come out, Filoni come out, Josh D'Amaro came out for a minute, and they just had big name actors on stage. It just felt like they really outshone Comic-Con a little bit. I mean, I don't know. But to be fair, I like the IPs that Disney has versus all the ones that Comic-Con has. So maybe I just am a Disney fan and I'm sort of closeted in that way because they have some of my favorite franchises, like that being Star Wars and Marvel. So, and look at Pixar. I love Pixar. I love Disney animation. I own all Disney animation titles and all Pixar titles. So I mean, it's just one of those legacy things that's been around for so long that you just sort of, in one way or another, you have grown up with Disney. So they have a bit of advantage to Comic-Con, but I mean, I don't know. I just felt like they really hit a home run with the way that they presented everything.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. I got to watch about half of the panel. Someone was live streaming it on their Meta glasses or something.
Oh wow!
And then they got copyright struck about an hour in. So
okay.
Actually, probably about a third of the panel because I guess it lasted like 3 hours if I remember right. The movie panel.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. You know pretty much how I probably watched it. I found a couple pundits that I like to follow on YouTube, and just they were breaking it down as news was coming in, and I just liked their take on things, and so it just made it more fun for me.
As soon as that lady's thing got copyright struck, all of a sudden I had the tab kind of I didn't have it open at the time because she was hiding the glasses at one point. Clearly. That's funny. She got copyright struck and immediately started playing John Campia's stream, and I went, I mean, that's fine, but
I mean,
not the same.
He was doing it, and John Roca was doing it. I mean, a ton of there were so many, whomever you follow on YouTube as far as movie news is concerned, they all had their own live streams going as people were announcing news on X or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So
one of the cool things was, to me, was seeing all the original film stuff that Pixar was and Disney Animation were putting out there.
Yeah.
Ghost, was it Ghost Market or something?
Ghost Market looks really.
I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't either. That was a huge surprise to me because I follow this stuff and I had not heard, and I don't think anybody had heard that title before. And it looks interesting. And and Clay, I had heard of Clay beforehand. So I kind of knew that movie was coming. And no, it's not about the life of Clay Shaver. It is about a character that Kieran Culkin is voicing who has to be a mentor to a younger piece of Clay. Sounds interesting. I mean, it reminds me of the old Nintendo game Clay Fighter. So well, I don't know if it'll be like that, but it looked interesting. So there was some really great surprise. Of course, both Disney Animation and Pixar both announced a ton of sequels, like legacy sequels.
But they had a balance. That's the thing.
You're right.
People will complain about The Incredibles 3 or Coco 2, but first off, those movies made money, so that's why you continue to make them.
Exactly.
But they also have Gato. They also have Ghost Watch. Like you said, Clay with Disney Animation. Disney Animation, I wouldn't call this a sequel. This is kind of it's not an original, but they're doing something interesting and unique with Oswald on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's like a 3-episode miniseries type thing.
Yeah.
So, and it looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked interesting. It was a in real world but 2D animated kind of
Right.
thing, and I thought it looked unique. I saw some of that footage through the glasses, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I saw some of it also, it all ends up online. So
Yes.
yeah, I saw some of it as well. And look, Favreau needs a win after Mando and Grogu. So hopefully this is really good because I do root for the guy. I like him a lot as a creator. So, and I think he's pretty, for whatever reason, he's pretty passionate about this Oswald character. So hopefully that comes through in the little miniseries he did. Look, I saw some Tangled footage that looked pretty good. This was behind the scenes footage of them creating the show. And for the most part, obviously it's not going to be totally practical, but as much as they possibly can, they're going practical. So, I mean, they're actually using a real horse instead of an animated horse, like if it would be the live action Lion King or something. I mean, they're going pretty practical with it. And if you are familiar with, any of the previous Disney Channel movies, like the Zombies films, Milo Mayhem is the guy that's playing Flynn Rider, and he's a great singer. If you can't say any, I don't know if his acting chops are like 100%, but he's a great singer.
But that's why you have an audition process. And
that's why you have and Tegan Croft. I knew her from the live action Teen Titans that HBO Max had at the time. She played, I don't know DC characters very well. The witch one that was a Teen Titan.
Raven?
She played Raven, yeah. And she's a good actress too. So I've never heard her sing. Apparently she's a good singer as well. And then obviously we've got Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel. And then it looked like Rapunzel's mom is Katarina Balfe from the Outlander series. And she's been in a ton of movies as well. But as far as what she is most known for is the Outlander series. And she's a great actress, like really good actress. So I'm kind of excited about that. I know we keep saying enough with the live action remakes, but if they're good, then make them. I mean, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and I struggle between the when they make changes on some of those films, like, why did they make that change? Because now the movie's worse. But at the same time, you don't want a copy 1-to-1, because then why are you remaking the film? There's a balancing act that has to be struck, and you got to find creatives that can obviously bring that vision to life. Audiences obviously liked what what is his name, Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
Guy Ritchie. Yeah, he did Aladdin. Yeah, no, they did. Look, that movie made money.
But I'm saying bring in creatives who, yes, they'll be a little bit, under the thumb of making a Disney live action movie, but I didn't think that was a bad live action remake.
And look, this Michael Gracie guy, I mean, he's not necessarily known by name, but he is definitely known by the movies that he's directed. One of really the most popular movies that Fox released, now Disney, The Greatest Showman, and Disney is definitely capitalizing on that. They're about to have some
a show,
Broadway show. And then he directed Better Man. I never saw Better Man, but I heard really good things about that movie.
Yeah, I've heard great things about that.
And so, look, he is. If Tangled is good, then people are going to finally start saying, "Oh, this Michael Gracie guy is actually kind of legit," because that would be kind of 3, at least in quality standpoint, 3 really good movies in a row for him. And I'm looking forward to Tangled. But gosh, enough with this Disney animation, Disney stuff. Let's talk about Marvel and Lucasfilm. So, I was kind of blown away by the Doomsday coverage. I mean, I loved what they called a special look.
Yeah,
very strange.
It was the trailer they put out that they showed people at SDCC. It was the trailer they showed at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was like, why just?
I think that they didn't want to call it trailer because they're going to put out a final trailer later on. And this is almost more like a Doom-focused trailer, akin to some of the focus trailers they did at first in December this past year, to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about Doom. It's and establishing the relationship for the Fantastic Four with Doom, showing that they have a history. There's a really good scene with Pedro where he's asking him, "Victor, did you do this?" And I mean, I think Pedro is hitting like almost pitch perfect on that.
I was about to say, I scoff at Pedro quite a bit just because I don't know. For a while, he felt like he was in everything, and yes, he has pared back quite a bit. And that was a good move because he was oversaturated for a while, and I wasn't thrilled with the choice for him for Reed Richards, but he did look great in this trailer. I mean, it really was, like you said, hitting all the beats of what a Reed Richards of this era. I mean, it's like more of the Hickman version of Reed Richards.
I agree.
So I kind of like it. Yes, he has a mustache. Who cares?
Looks wise, he's not perfect. But,
right, exactly.
He's got the character down really well from the Hickman version, which is what's leading to this event anyway, which is Hickman's Secret Wars adaptation. I'm sure they'll blend some elements between the two Secret Wars that exist, but Incursions is straight out of Hickman's comics. So
I mean, this movie is going to off of on the heels of Spider-Man Brand New Day, this movie's going to do well.
I mean,
it's just because people are excited about the MCU again.
No matter what, you've got to, and this is tough to say because Dune is also on that same date. And Dune is going to be a great film. I'm very sure that it's Denis Villeneuve.
Exactly.
And just a great cast. But I'm very sure that this movie will open big no matter what. Really, the longevity and its lifespan all depends on how good it is and how good how good it is to the audience.
Right.
Because that's all subjective. But
I've already got tickets to see it the next day after the premiere. So I'm going to see it on Thursday and Friday because the tickets for the non-PLF screens went on sale. And I went ahead and grabbed 4 so me and my family can go see it that day. School, that's the last day of school for the semester before the Christmas holidays. So they get out of school at 1:00 and we're going to go to like a 2:45 showing of Doomsday. And it's cool for me because my youngest was not into the MCU at all. But then she saw Spider-Man Brand New Day and she's like, this is awesome because it's a great movie. And so it just gets people excited. Like my older daughter saw it twice. She never sees movies twice. And so it's just like one of those things where people are now back on board and at least willing to pay the ticket price and go see what the MCU is going to, give us. And say what you will about the Russos outside of the MCU, they don't miss when it comes to the MCU. Like I recently rewatched Winter Soldier. So good. Just freaking phenomenal movie. And so it's just I'm so pumped, and that trailer really got me even more jazzed because now you know the tone of the movie.
Yeah, and you get a better sense of this Victor, this Victor Von Doom, being played by RDJ, who's doing a great job with his expressive eyes and being expressive in the costume because we can't see his face. I mean, right. He seems like Doom to me, and I know that there were some people who were hesitant of, it's going to be like a Tony Stark variant. I'm pretty convinced at this point. This may be crazy to say. I don't think he's going to tie into Tony Stark in any way. I'm going to put that out there.
I almost am at the point where I'd rather them not do that.
Yeah. I think if they have a Tony Stark tie-in in these movies in any way, it's not going to be because of Doom. Or, Doom is not going to be involved with Tony Stark. They may have RDJ come in and do something as Tony at some point, but not Doom.
Yeah.
I think they really just hired him to play a different character and to get butts in seats. And, and it's going to work on opening weekend. And I know we're a movie podcast, but I do have to mention Vision Quest because it did look good. I mean, it looked really interesting. And I'll certainly give it a chance for sure. It's done by Terry
Matalas,
Matalas, who did seasons 2 and 3 of
just 3.
Picard,
just 3
I think.
Picard. Yeah, just 3.
Okay, I thought he was involved in season 2, but I know that season 3 he was allowed to do whatever he wanted.
Well, maybe that's it certainly came through better in season 3 then. If he wasn't season 2, it was such a bad season of television. But season 3 was fantastic, and I didn't watch 12 Monkeys, but apparently that's a really good series. I never watched any of the adaptation, but that's the guy that played Pyro was in that. Can't remember the actor's name, but
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
James Spader was doing James Spader, and that you cannot go wrong with that. Like the way he delivers lines is so distinct to him that it just makes every performance that he gives us just perfect. I mean, he and the beard, the huge beard, it's hilarious. I mean,
I kind of loved the look. It's a bit saving on budget, where he goes in his mind and everyone looks like they're human forms, but at the same time, there's a reason for that, clearly. And Vision is a character that leans towards wanting to be more human overall. And empathizes with humans. So I mean, it makes total sense to me. And you get James Spader actually coming in to act, not just be the voice actor
not
for
just
Ultron.
be the voice actor. Not that there was anything wrong with that. I mean, I think he actually did good with full Ultron, but I mean, getting to see him act on screen with a ridiculous beard is going to be great. I mean, and Jarvis, we had Jarvis come back. That was kind of a surprise.
Jarvis from the Agent Carter series.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see
Endgame.
him. And I guess did they say in the trailer that he was playing Jarvis? I mean, I guess he is.
He's dressed up like a butler, so I'd
assume he's because why bring that actor back? But that was really cool to see that. I guess the main focus is going to be the son, right? The son that we haven't seen yet.
We got Wiccan in Agatha, which I thought was a show that started strong, and then I didn't love the ending.
Yeah, it was a little messy at the end.
But it was an intriguing story happening, and it just kind of, to me, petered out, which is kind of what happened with WandaVision. The good news to me is that the writer of WandaVision and Agatha is not writing this, as far as I'm aware. So
I think you're right, yeah.
I think Terry is writing this one, so I think so. Feel like this is in better hands, maybe for an ending. But we'll see.
And I'm sure he got to pick the writers' room, even if he wasn't like writing every single episode. So it's his team, like it's his group of people that worked probably on everything he does.
Yeah, it's Jack Schaefer who did WandaVision, and look, all respect to her. She's got obviously some really intriguing, cool ideas. I just don't know if she knows how to land finales quite yet.
Yeah. And really, the last piece of the puzzle, as far as what they presented on at D23, was the X-Men cast, or some of the X-Men cast.
Feige, I think, explicitly said there were more, but this is kind of the. Sure. I'm pretty sure that this was the people they want to announce that are already signed.
Right. I'm of the belief that they actually have signed Magneto, and it's going to be somebody huge, and so they're waiting, because that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be somebody like a Cillian Murphy, but I mean, could be that big, like an Oscar winner. It could be somebody that big, but I'm sure they're trying to look for somebody closer to the age of Christopher Abbott. He's 40.
Yeah.
So
he's what?
He's 40.
Okay.
So they're probably going to look for somebody at least like within the range of, hey, this guy looks like he could be 40. Like, so somebody like 45, 40, like it can be any range. That when you're in your 40s, you kind of look the same, especially if you've got a team of people giving you a certain diet and exercise regime. So I love this for Christopher Abbott, because I think that although he's been working for a really long time, he's one of those actors that hasn't completely broken through just yet. And so I think this will be the role, if he does well and he does what everybody wants him to do, it could be huge for him, because this is going to be a character that he's probably going to be playing for over a decade from this point on.
Yeah.
Into his 50s.
He's just younger enough to me, versus McAvoy, where I'd understand why you'd cast somebody 7-9 years younger than Fassbender and McAvoy there, who I think are great, and I wish had gotten better movies overall. But you got to move on.
Look, Fassbender was great in everything. He's great in everything he does, but I thought he was a great Magneto. I mean, I think he was really good. And the good thing about Abbott being, 40, that makes sense why most of the other cast is in their early 20s. All the other people cast.
And I like that. I like that they're going young. It gives you time to mature with the characters and have them have long story arcs where they can be the characters.
Yeah.
And not. I mean, look, if things fail, you abandon it, but hopefully things go well and people embrace the new X-Men. So.
Well, look, I mean, at least from a quality standpoint, we know we've got Jake Schreier, who did Thunderbolts, right? I mean, and that, I loved that movie. I know it didn't make, half a bill or whatever, but it's a good movie.
I'm pretty sure he brought in his beef people too to write this one, just like they did Thunderbolts. So
yeah. Look, I'm super excited for it. I mean, obviously the biggest splash right now, just because of how big Obsession was, is Indy Navarrete being cast as Rogue. Is, I mean, her name wasn't even on the list necessarily for Rogue. You know, there was a couple of other names that were floating around out in the ether, but I think that they've made a good decision with her. She's a great actress.
I think she might have played some good media games there, because she was in the news saying she wanted to work with Jake Schreier and she wanted to play Mystique, which makes me think that she had already talked. I mean, had to have already probably talked at that point, and that she knew it was for Rogue, but throwing out another name throws her off the trail for that stuff. So yeah, I think she did a good job playing coy on a lot of that stuff. And there was another podcaster, Brandon Davis, who covers kind of the comic book world. Who had actually, there was a clip going around of him talking about this the other week, and he said he knew that some of the Obsession cast had, this is before D23, he knew that some of the Obsession cast had auditioned for X-Men, and some of them didn't get it. So
yeah, that's interesting.
I thought that was very interesting. It means Michael or Megan most likely were. I don't know. I feel like Cooper's too busy doing stuff with with his buddy, the director Curry.
Right. So. No, I totally agree. For me personally, the complete unknown, and I think for a lot of people, is Maya Boyd as Storm.
Yes.
She's from Broadway. So, and a lot of these actors that they are using in X-Men are from, I mean, Sadie Sink had a Broadway run on something. Yep. Kit Connor had a Broadway run on something. So they're going from there.
Sadie, Kit, and Maya all just did some variation or form of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Completely different shows, all running close to concurrently together. Kit may have been West End, but I can't remember. But they were all, plays happening around the same time.
Yeah.
And Abbott has been on Broadway too. So
the only thing that I had seen Kit in before was Warfare, and that was a great ensemble cast. Mm-hmm. And he was actually a bigger part of the ensemble. His character was kind of integral to the story that they were trying to tell in Warfare. And I found him to be a good actor. What you couldn't tell, obviously, is how tall he actually is. And I'm glad they did that wide stage shot of the X-Men, because he's a head taller than just about everybody there. Like, he's a tall guy. So I think that's what Cyclops kinds of needs, that body type, like kind of taller, looks like he could be, the leader, because hopefully they're going to go with Cyclops as the leader.
I think your two leads, and I'm just speculating, but I think your two leads are going to be Jean Grey and Cyclops.
Yeah.
Which would be a welcome change. Not that Jean hasn't been a sort of lead in the Fox films, but the lead in the Fox films has been Wolverine. And I don't think that you can leave Wolverine alone, because he's your most popular character in that group.
And they didn't.
I think
he made an appearance.
That's true. We can talk about that in a second. I hope that they don't leave him alone and don't just abandon him, because we don't want to tell Wolverine stories that overrides, the other X-Men stories. He should be in there somewhere. But making Cyclops and Jean the focus, to me, would be a smart move, because it would go in a direction where you haven't gone as much before. I think you've wasted one really good Cyclops. I think in Marston, that's why I'm excited about Doomsday personally, really. Like, a big part of that is the X-Men, and wanting to see a lot of those guys get their due. Obviously, Professor X and Magneto. A lot of people love Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, but Marston as Cyclops is like almost pitch perfect casting.
Mm-hmm.
And
they just underused him, or used him in the wrong way.
They underused him so bad, and then they kill him early on in 3.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if that's like a spiteful thing because he was going to work with Singer on Superman Returns, or what happened.
Who knows? But, I don't know what happened on that.
It was just stupid, and really hurts that trilogy for me, honestly, because there's a lot of underutilized pieces in that trilogy. Aside from Wolverine, who is fantastic.
And of course, we already knew about Samara Weaving being cast as Emma Frost, but she looked great on stage. She wore an Emma Frost type outfit. I think that is really just perfect casting. I mean,
she is probably the most perfect of the cast.
There was even some social media pics of her doing like an Emma Frost pose, like with the hand up, and like, I mean, she's so ready to play this character. I think it's going to be amazing. And so her character, I think rightly so, is going to be around the same age or closer to the same age as the Xavier that we've got in this universe.
In real life, she's about 6 years younger. But
so and I think that works. I think the story that they're going to unfold works, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, Charles Melton had been rumored to be cast as Beast, but they either don't have him sign the dotted line yet, or they are going a different route. But I think that is another important character that they need to have in this story to kind of round out what they're going to be doing.
Well, here's what makes sense to me. And there was some talk about this, but I could totally see this. The OG X-Men are Scott Summers, Jean Grey, Hank McCoy, which is Beast. Warren Worthington III, which is Angel, Bobby Drake, which is Iceman. And then add Storm to that lineup, and you've got 6. And
or pull Iceman out and put Storm in, maybe.
I could see that being, possibly. But I could see a variation of that being your kind of main team for the first movie.
And I think that would be cool. I mean, you know, rumor has it that Storm's also going to be playing some type of part in Black Panther 3. So we'll see there. That comes out after. So so that's
in November or December. It's November or December.
So they're going to have to start filming this thing very soon to hit that May date of 2028.
They have to start filming by May.
Oh, okay. So maybe like you're giving them a full year.
Filmed a year out.
Okay. Well, maybe
you can do that. It's not Endgame and Doomsday where you want it filming, you know, a little further out because of all the effects.
So to go back to the Wolverine of it all, they, you know, at Comic-Con, they had Ryan Reynolds come out as dressed in Deadpool, and he was actually in the crowd. For this, it was Hugh Jackman on a screen doing a funny bit where he was reading the script wrong or whatever. That
Ryan is off screen.
Ryan's off screen, and so look, they're in the movie, obviously. I mean, this whole thing means that they're going to be in Doomsday.
I've seen some media members that were confused by it. They were like, I don't really know what to report because they never said they were confirmed in the movie. And it's
they wouldn't be doing this if they were in the movie.
They've now had Deadpool bag, and then they've had Deadpool make Hugh Jackman bag.
Right. It's just
and
like,
he said something to the effect of like, and I bet I could probably convince Ryan to do it as well, or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I love it. I mean, it fits well with their character. Now, we know that the tone of Doomsday is going to be pretty dark. Well, so obviously you're going to have a more serious version of Wolverine. Maybe even Deadpool will be a little serious.
I think ultimately the reason they're going about it this way is because the main cast is the main cast.
Right.
And I think that these guys have a small role in this film that will be elevated in the next film. That's my theory there.
Right.
But
and
why they don't want to push them in the marketing too hard, but they are kind of like, they're here.
Yeah. And don't worry, we did not forget. Yes, Adam Driver is...
Oh, yeah, Mr. Sinister.
Is Magneto. I mean, Mr. Sinister. That was hilarious because the crowd thought he was serious when he said he was Magneto. And he almost didn't say, oh, wait, like quick enough. Like the crowd like started applauding really loudly right when he said he was Magneto. And he was like, oh, I mean, I'm Nathaniel Milbury. And that in and of it, like he didn't say Mr. Sinister. So I'm sure that saying the name Nathaniel Milbury got lost in the crowd applauding. And so people probably did come out of that thinking that he was cast as Magneto for a minute at least.
There were several reporters who reported it that way.
Exactly. Well, because when you hear the name Nathaniel Milbury, it doesn't like ring quickly like Nathaniel Essex would. And so, because it's like some obscure thing from the 90s when he was Scott Summers' neighbor or something, he called himself Nathaniel Milbury. So, not many like plebes aren't going to know what the heck he's talking about. I hope that at some point in the movie he at least calls himself Mr. Sinister, but maybe he won't.
I think he will. I hope so. I think look, who knows how far along they are, but I would assume that in the story that they currently have, if he's using the name Nathaniel Milbury, it's because he's trying to hide his true nature. That will be eventually revealed. Through the movie. So, and Adam Driver is such a good get. They've been trying to get him on board for a while. Yeah,
it's needed. I mean, you need your villain. And I hate it that he's kind of been typecast as a villain, at least when he does IP. But I mean, you do need somebody with some gravitas on screen to be a villain. So as RDJ can pull off Doom, I really think Adam Driver can pull off Mr. Sinister. I think that there's no doubt in my mind. Now, I need to see a worthy Magneto, though. Like, and I don't know how much he'll be a part of the story, since it seems like your main villain is going to be Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, he may not be involved in the first film, and maybe they tease him, you know.
Yeah. I just want that to be a big splash of casting. Not that what we've gotten so far isn't a huge splash or whatever, but I would love to see Magneto be somebody that has won an Oscar before, that's in their 40s. Like, I don't know who it could be, but somebody big. I mean, I think they need to go big on that.
I'm intrigued to see where they go, what the first story they tackle is, you know, what they're going to call the movie, because they didn't technically put a title out there. They just put a logo.
Yeah.
It was a pretty almost team-looking logo rather than the actual movie logo. I feel like they're not just going to make that the logo, but I could be wrong.
What if they just called it the Uncanny X-Men or something like that?
Well, that's what I've been thinking.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Sure. I mean,
it's a way to differentiate it.
Yeah.
And kind of establish it as something new.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Could be good.
It'll be
that's
exciting.
A good thought that you had there.
Less than 2 years out. So,
which is crazy. I mean, that usually when they announce something at D23, it's like 2029 or something like that. But really, this is going to be right around the corner. I mean, because we're going to be so wrapped up in Doomsday, the Doomsday hype and the Secret Wars hype, that we're going to kind of probably forget we've got some great stuff coming, because we're going to be anticipating Secret Wars so much after Doomsday. So, because I just have a feeling that Doomsday is just going to blow everybody away. And that
I hope so.
The anticipation will be high going into Secret Wars, because that's all we're getting in 2027, really. I mean,
I think Marvel hopes so too. Yeah, because that is the only movie coming out in 27. Yeah,
there's got to be, you know, they kind of quietly announced that they're paring back on the live action shows.
Mm-hmm.
I would wonder if there's also going to be a special presentation next year as well. Like, I don't know if you're going to get more Punisher, or maybe a spin-off of Werewolf by Night, like something else besides just Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
There's got to be, give us something else. I would love like a Halloween themed thing. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff that they could do. And they've done those well. Like, I've enjoyed all of those. The Guardians of the Galaxy one was really fun.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night was really fun. Punisher, yes, brutal. Can't call it fun necessarily, but it was still well made. Well, for the most part, there was some funny CG issues.
Yeah, there was one shot.
Yeah, there was one shot.
And you had to zoom in on it to really notice.
Right. Yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, I think I think it's wise to slow down on the live action.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean, you know, we're not going to still get animated shows, because obviously I think they pushed it back a little bit to January. We're getting what is it? Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2 in January of next year now. I thought it was coming out this year, but it's going to be January 2027.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So we're kind of like done with Marvel shows for the year, at least on Disney Plus. We've got obviously next year to look forward to now. So
yeah.
And I guess we got to talk about some Lucasfilm stuff. I know we're already like almost 40 minutes in, and we haven't started talking about other stuff.
For the listeners, they're only 34 minutes in, Mike. You don't
worry. I'm looking at the live clock, and yeah, you're right. We're only 34 minutes in. Ahsoka season 2, again, I know we're a movie show, but Ahsoka season 2, I'll say this: it looked more cinematic than what season 1 is going to look like. Just the trailer to me felt a bit more. It felt like the show is taking itself more seriously now than maybe it did in season 1, and so tonally, it looks like it's going to be much more serious. There was a part in this trailer where Anakin was questioning Ahsoka. I mean, do you see yourself as a Jedi? I mean, so I think that there's going to be some themes and some story elements that are maybe more serious, and they should be like Thrawn. I'm ready for them to make Thrawn an actual like villain to take seriously instead of a guy that just talks about doing things and doesn't do anything. And so I don't know. I'm looking
That's
forward
the
to
Thrawn problem. He's the biggest genius
right.
ever,
Right.
but he's
Exactly.
always thwarted.
Yeah, exactly. So anytime you bring Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, I'm excited about it. And so I know that people like to give this show a hard time because season 1 was sort of undercooked.
Yeah.
But I really think that Filoni he heard what the fans said. I think he has obviously taken his time with season 2 because it got pushed back, and it's coming also in January, I believe. So they've gone back to the drawing board. They've maybe added some things they didn't intend to add because they gave themselves some more time. So I really think that we're going to be looking forward to something a little more, well, I used the word already, but a little more cinematic than maybe the first season was. So.
I'll be honest, I was disappointed by season 1. I remember covering it.
No, a lot of people, you're not the only one.
And I wanted to love that so much. I think the best part of that show was Ray Stevenson, unfortunately.
Yes, yeah.
And I think the guy they hired to replace him is a good replacement.
Yeah, what's his name? Roy Cochran, I think.
I can't remember his name right
Game
now.
of Thrones.
Yes, he is from Game of Thrones.
I think that, yeah, at least as far as acting ability is concerned, that guy has shown to me that he's a quality actor because the stuff he did in Game of Thrones, especially the smaller, quieter scenes, were really great. Yes, he was a big brute and like he could like murder people endlessly, but the stuff that he had, the quieter moments that he had in Game of Thrones were top notch. And so I'm really looking forward to, unfortunately, him having to take over that role because we lost Ray Stevenson because I mean he was just so good in that. But I'm hoping that the actor that plays Ezra gets a bit more to do.
He got nothing to do in Brand New Day.
Well, he did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to make Peter jealous. That's all he was supposed to do. Yeah, no, you're right. He didn't. Hey, he got more than Rosario Dawson got to do. Her scene was cut altogether.
That's true. Yeah, it was cut. Yeah, that's true. They were both on that movie, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably different days, but yeah.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure that. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, obviously, the biggest theatrical news. Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say one more other thing? Oh, okay.
No, I was just going to say the thing I'm really excited about is Starfighter.
Look,
and obviously the 50th anniversary re-release too.
Of course, exactly. But Starfighter, Ryan Gosling, Sean Levy. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean,
there are a lot of people online that should hate Sean Levy, but
those people just kick rocks.
But I've seen a few of them eat their words. And look, I think Claudio Miranda is a fantastic DP.
Right.
He did great work on Top Gun Maverick.
Yes. Exactly.
And when the footage that's not been released, but if you could find it out there is footage of what they showed.
It was easy to find. Yeah, it was easy to find.
I think it looks really good.
It does,
and it looks very cinematic. And I'm always excited to see Ryan Gosling in things because he always gives it 100%, and he's always doing unique, cool stuff.
Totally.
I'm excited to see him play this kind of roguish character in Starfighter that we don't fully know about. We know his name now, Cade Oberon. And we know that he's got like a skull and crossbones on his jacket. He's got an upside down rebel insignia with like two guns underneath that make it kind of look like a skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
But it's a unique kind of Star Wars skull and crossbones.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean it's the footage that I found looked great. I mean it's not much. We get him talking about this particular type of Imperial ship that he has, and it's the fastest
G-17.
ship. Yeah, it's like all the Ryan Gosling of it. But
that's for the encyclopedia.
And the kid, the actor who has a really like Star Warsy name, I can't remember. It's like I think the actor's name is the actor's name also Cade? I can't remember the actor's name, but it's like it sounds like a really Star Warsy name if you look the kid up. He looks like he had the right vibe as well. So I trust in Sean Levy. I do.
His name is Flynn Gray.
Yeah, Flynn Gray. Like that's basically a Star Wars character's name. So it's great. He could have just been Flynn Gray in this movie also.
Yeah. And the cast of this movie is kind of interesting. It's Gosling, Mia Goth is in it. Amy Adams is in it.
Yeah.
Matt Smith is in it. Right. Reprising his role as the Emperor. No,
we'll see. No, he's playing the villain, but not I don't think he's the Emperor.
Yeah. Aaron Pierre is in it. The new.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. From Green Lantern. So
Mr. Lantern himself is in it. Okay.
Yeah. Or Midsize Sedan if you're a big old fan. Uh-oh. I'm having some internet issues here.
Look, any Star Wars I am excited about sometimes until wow. That was like insane. I've never seen my I think I'm like, yeah, I think this is bad.
Well,
you're gonna have some major editing to do this time.
Yeah, we'll just say, hey, look, that was our D23 coverage. We're excited.
Yes, that D23 it does look awesome. Yeah.
That's probably a sign from the universe to move on to Harakiri.
Probably. I don't know what is going on. I'm sure it's my end and not yours, but it's I have no clue what's going on.
Well, I picked 1962's Harakiri, directed by Masakai Kobayashi, released in Japan in 1962, starring a bunch of Japanese actors that I'm not familiar with, but did a good job. Yeah. This movie is about a samurai who arrives at this house. This is in feudal Japan, 1630. This is one of the most peaceful times of feudal Japan. It's the Edo period. It's only been the Edo period for about 20-something years now. Mm-hmm. And this Ronin, who can't really find a job, has come to this house and says he wants to commit Harakiri in their courtyard, essentially. He finds it to be a worthy place to do so. And thus begins this whole story that starts unfolding over time as we start getting more and more information as to who this Ronin is and why he's there. Yeah. And past Ronins who have come to this location to commit Harakiri, and maybe didn't have noble intentions or, were really there just to try to extort money. Mm-hmm. And whether or not our character that we're following is there to do the same thing, or if he's being serious and that he really is just going to commit ritual suicide, essentially. Yeah. And it's really, really fascinating because it feels, for like 95% of it probably, like this could be a stage play.
Oh, totally.
There's a lot of sitting down and talking.
Yeah.
It's not single location, but like very minimal locations.
Yeah, minimal location. Yeah.
The places we do see, there's not a ton of, we don't move around the places a whole lot. It's very static and stagnant. There's a few camera movement stuff, things that happen that I go, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's especially cool when you think like this is 1962 Japan. They don't have textbooks on making films. No. So it is cool to just like think about these guys are just kind of sometimes coming up with this stuff, or maybe they've seen other Japanese directors do it, but yeah, it's still cool to think about. It's really like a moral and ethical film in terms of like what it makes you question about the samurai code, this samurai clan's code, and whether or not they really are acting with honor, and whether or not they should have done the things that they did in some of the past stories that they were telling our main character, who again kind of becomes as the story unfolds, we learn that he's more involved in things that maybe we realized. I don't want to fully, I know it's a very old movie, but it is a Japanese movie, and I don't want to fully spoil it in case you haven't seen it.
You make a good point, though, because it is one of those type of things that as the story unfolds, and as the viewer starts to hear how closely tied this guy that we didn't think was closely tied at all to this particular clan, he ends up being very closely tied because of the actions of his son-in-law.
Yeah.
And so, well, his son-in-law that he ended up like basically
godson,
adopting.
basically.
Yeah, it was like his godson. Like he basically raised this kid as his own, even though later on he wants him to be his son-in-law, and marry his daughter. There was a couple of moments that I was like, oh, this is almost like watching a Kurosawa film, just because it just had that vibe about it of, there's a coming storm of some type. As the story's unfolding, the tension is rising.
Yeah.
And there's just moments of revelation as you're watching this that I won't necessarily use the word shocking, but they're at least from a standpoint of understanding the motivation of our main character, who, again, with this movie being like from the 60s and a Japanese film, I loved this particular actor. I had obviously never seen him in anything before.
Yeah.
But he just did such a good job of owning the courtyard, if you will. Instead of owning the room, you'll say owning the courtyard, because a lot of the movie, like you said, is in a single location there in the courtyard as he's laying out this story. I love the almost comedic moments of when he's stopping people from, attacking him. He's like, wait, I've got one more thing to add.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like it's really great.
I made a note. It's almost like Columbo-esque, like one more thing.
Yeah, I've got one more thing. And it's great. I mean, it worked really well because, the main, I don't know if you want to call him, and this is like a stupid Star Wars term, but the major domo, like the main head of this particular clan, was really just getting fed up with the guy. Like he's like, I'm tired of giving you this time. He starts to realize that perhaps maybe he's a bit of a charlatan, not in the sense that the story that he's telling is fake, but just the way that he's stalling everybody all the time. And when you finally get to the first climax, I mean, there's like multiple climaxes in this movie as far as the way that things just unfold. When I won't necessarily say what items that he throws out of his, I don't know what you call that he's wearing, but the samurai outfit.
Let's just go ahead and we can say spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Because that's not a huge thing.
Well, he has the braids of 3 different men. Because he cut them off.
The knot, or whatever they call those.
The knots. Yeah, the samurai knots, and it makes it extremely dishonorable to the owner of said knots when that happens. When you let your knot get cut off like that, you are extremely dishonored to the point where you don't even want to show your face anywhere. And that's a big plot point, because these 3 guys, we think that they're sick at first and they're not showing up. And so it's just great. I mean, the way things unfold, the one thing that I thought was not necessarily a plot hole, but the daughter inexplicably getting sick, because she didn't seem, at least for the first half of the movie, as a sickly person. They weren't portraying her as a sickly person.
Well, I mean, it's
childbirth
it's
back
Japan.
then. Yeah, maybe childbirth back then was rough.
They don't have the medicine that we have. They don't,
exactly.
That kind of thing could be really fatal.
Yeah. So that ends up being, a pretty big plot point in the second half of the film, where she's just like deathly ill, because then her child also gets deathly ill.
Yep.
And that's what sends the son-in-law off on this journey.
It's what drives the story.
At that point. So
sends him to do something that was not the right thing to do.
No, not at all.
But at the same time, the response from the house was maybe a bit much as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene where they have him committing the act.
Yeah.
I know I said spoiler alert, but I don't want to go too far on that.
Well, the movie's called Harakiri.
Yeah, where they have him committing the act with his bamboo sword is brutal.
Brutal. I was picturing this, like, I was like, man, I'm glad this is in black and white, because it would be really gross if it was colorized.
Yeah.
But
and he's having a tough time inserting it. He has to drive it into him. Yes. And then they're like, we're not going to second you. We're not going to cut your head off until you get it all the way across your stomach.
Well, not only that, but they wanted him to disembowel himself. They wanted to see guts coming out before they commit the second act of chopping his head off. But just so brutal. But it certainly drives, our main character, not necessarily to insanity, but to the point where he has a mission that he knows he wants to accomplish. And the last scenes of the film are just awesome.
I mean, him describing taking on the three guys that committed the act.
I loved going through that.
And he did it in a way that was so interesting because, a typical movie even today would be, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go kill the guys and I'm going to bring their heads, whatever.
Revenge.
He didn't do that. He took their hair.
The
hair that meant a lot to them.
I mean,
it would wind up making them commit, suicide essentially. But
exactly. Yeah. Because they were so disgraced.
But he didn't kill them. And he went out of his way to not kill them and skillfully cut off their hair.
Yeah, exactly. He had a little. The third fight was a little more tough than I think he probably realized it would be. But that was the guy that
duel.
Yeah, that was the guy that they sort of were, of these three. They were sort of showing him more than the other two guys. Like he was kind of the main character or whatever, or the main samurai of that clan.
I had to pause the movie about 2/3 of the way through. And because I had to go to dinner. And when I was at dinner, I was telling my parents about it. And I told them, I feel like the final fight is going to be, he's just going to get some of those guys and go out on his own and commit Harakiri.
Oh, okay.
Because it just felt like the natural character arc for that character was to get some of them, get some revenge, and then go out on his own terms. And I love that the final battle was that. And it was that maybe one of the best final stands in a movie for a character that's so outmatched. Like I don't even know which, like 30-1, 40-1 at the end.
It was almost like, it was almost like the Kurosawa movie we watched a couple weeks ago. Where the main character is just so outmatched, but still, he gets some people.
Well, in Macbeth's case, you're supposed to cheer against him. In this case, you're cheering for
the
Ronin,
our hero. Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad that you own all of these and I'm getting to watch these movies that I would have never watched in a million years. But just because, and this one in particular, I didn't know it existed. I just had not heard of the film before. Obviously when you said the title of it, I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Another term for it is seppuku, but I mean Harakiri.
I think it's like seppuku.
And
I think they use that word in Japanese, a couple of times, and it's translated to Harakiri.
It's interesting
in the subtitles. So
it's weird. It's kind of weird.
I guess they're interchangeable. I don't know.
Well, this was a great film. Highly recommend. This one was just on the Criterion channel, right? It wasn't on HBO Max. Okay, so you do, or you can rent it. I'm sure.
You can rent it, Criterion channel. And you can buy it during the sales.
Of course, buy it during the sales. Well, we're gonna move on. We're actually going forwards in time as far as when the movie takes place, but backwards in time as far as when the movie was filmed.
Interesting.
So this one is from 1939.
Okay.
It is one of 5 theatrical versions of this film. The Four Feathers is the name of the movie, and it's from it's a British film. The name of the director is Zolan Korda. Really cool name, by the way. And oddly enough, like this being out in 1939, there was 2 versions of this before that. In 1921 and 1929, they did the Four Feathers. And then there was a version done in the 70s. And then the most recent one is the one with Heath Ledger from 2002. But this one is kind of, at least from if you're reading the Criterion box, it's the most revered of all the versions of the Four Feathers. And it's based upon the classic AEW Mason's 1902 adventure. It's based on a book from 1902 originally. It's about the British Empire's exploits in Africa. That's kind of where I'll leave it because I don't want to necessarily like spoil anything as far as the plot's concerned. But the version I've got is the DVD version. There is a Blu-ray version of it as well, so they've at least upgraded it to Blu-ray on Criterion. If you're keeping track, I believe it is spy number 583.
Okay.
So luckily this one is not only on the Criterion channel, but it's also on HBO Max. So it's a little more accessible than our last one.
Very rare that you can pull out a Criterion, and I've never heard of it. I'm sure I've read that title, but it's never stuck. It's not like I know most of the. Like if I read through the list, I'd be like, yeah, I've heard of most of these.
You've heard of the four
because I've gone through this list a million times. That is one that has not stuck with me at all. So that's interesting.
I mean, this has to be up there as far as film adaptations, one of the most adapted books ever.
Which is crazy because, again, I'm not very familiar with it.
Yeah, because there's also like been miniseries, like the BBC has done a miniseries before. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we're watching this version because it is the one that most people claim is like the best version of the story. So I'm excited to watch it. My father-in-law had heard of it and also said the same thing, that this is the version that you want to watch.
Okay.
Oh, this is interesting. There on the Criterion version, if you've got the disc, I don't know if like do the special features also show up on the channel sometimes?
Yes, if it's on the channel and it's a Criterion film and they made the features, most of the time it's on there.
So this is really rare. I have not recalled there being many on-set featurettes of movies this old, but there is a featurette on this disc called A Day at Denham. And it's actually a short film from 1939 featuring footage of the director on the set of making this movie. So that's crazy. Like that's kind of rare for 39. I don't know. I'm sure like maybe bigger films from the time, but I don't recall seeing that where you have an on-set documentary about the making of the movie. So that's pretty cool. I'm very excited to watch the Four Feathers.
Yeah. In this case, again, it all depends on what they have the rights to. It looks like they just have commentary track and David Korda on Zoltan Korda. So I guess that's a descendant.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, yeah,
not that.
I might watch this little short film and report back and see what it's all about. Because that's really interesting to see that they've got that particular extra. I'm sure it's on the Blu-ray as well, but I've just got the DVD. So yeah. Well, let's dive into what our focus was, but you wanted to mention a couple of other things that we had seen as well, because I saw a lot of movies the last couple weeks, or in the last week, I guess. I saw 4 films if you count the Screen Unseen on Monday.
Yeah, I saw. Well, why would you not count that much?
I guess you would. I mean, because it came out on Monday, but yeah.
I saw Tony on Monday night, the Screen Unseen. Look, if you want to know what's happening on these Screen Unseens, go to Reddit. There's a Regal Unlimited. There may be an AMC A-list, but the ones to check out are usually Regal and maybe someone else. I don't feel like it's the A-list one. But anyway, the people usually speculate. We got a runtime rating and usually a genre. And you can narrow it down to 2 or 3 films usually, and that are coming up in the next few weeks. And most of the time, they're kind of smaller independent films or smaller studio films. I think the only time that anything major was ever on it was Jurassic World last year.
Well, no, remember earlier this year, Mercy on IMAX was a Screen Unseen.
All right. Well, we're not. Yeah, we can move past that.
Yeah, we can move past that. You're right.
Most of the time, though, it's your smaller kind of dramas or comedies, which I think is fun. Like those are fun to me. And this one was Tony. It's directed by Matt Johnson. If you've seen any of Matt Johnson's previous stuff, he directed The Dirties, which you probably haven't seen, but he directed Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie. He directed Blackberry a few years ago.
And that's the one I've seen is Blackberry, and I loved Blackberry.
Yeah, he's a comedic actor / director who's got like a very clear style about him in terms of that comedy to me. Yeah. And with Tony, what I really appreciated is it felt like, and I haven't seen all of his other stuff, but it felt like he was getting out of his comfort zone here.
Yeah, it's very different tonally from Blackberry. Blackberry, like you kind of knew going in that it was going to have maybe a more comedic bend to the story of the creation of the BlackBerry phone, which I'm sure in real life was a very serious thing. That movie, he had some comedy in it. This, he played it mostly straight, although there were some really good sight gags.
There's some good jokes in the kitchen between all the guys, here or there. It's really interesting to me to take a biopic about a guy who lived such a long, or not a long, but who lived a fair amount of time, but he did so much stuff, and he went around the world. And what they focus on is a really small portion of his life. Kind of in between, college and entering the real world, essentially. And about him going to chase after this girl at Cape Cod and winding up working at this restaurant that he gets in a fight at the bar in, basically. And learning to become a chef, essentially. And I think it's a really good story. And man, I was blown away by a lot of the supporting performances in this. I agree. Dominic Sessa is good as Anthony Bourdain, but Leo Woodall, especially, to me, I can't remember the character's name he plays, but he is so good at that character.
Sal was his character's name. Yeah. I mean, he look, I mean, you say it a lot in different movies, but he kind of stole the movie to me. I mean, Banderas was really good too in his own way, but as far as getting the most dynamic stuff off the page onto the screen, the Sal character had the most fun stuff to do, and the most outlandish stuff, and he was the most outlandish character. But sometimes, even though you're getting to portray the most outlandish character, if you're not a good actor, that doesn't come across well. Well, Leo Woodall is a great actor. I've seen him this year in Tuner as well, and he's just one to watch. Like, I'm ready to see him like have some really big break at some point, because every performance that I've seen him in, he adds something unique to the performance to stand out from the rest of the cast. And that's kind of what he did here. I mean, like you said, I mean, Dominic Sessa, he was more of a subdued type of guy. He was a melancholy character. Like Tony was a melancholy guy. And he never was getting his way. And so that can be a more boring character to portray than someone like Sal, who is just bombastic and does crazy things and is always the person that everybody wants to hang out with. Well, Tony was the complete opposite of that. And so Dominic Sessa did what he could with the role, but it just was a little bit more boring role than Sal.
And the interesting thing about Tony specifically in the film is that he's a guy who, and you've run into these people in life, but a guy who is constantly lying and lying and lying. And when he gets caught in a lie, he lies in a different way and
doubles down.
He just keeps continuing this spiral of lying to all the people in his life. And it's just it's a fascinating story to watch, because they don't make Tony look like a great guy. I mean, of course you cheer for him, but he's not always the most likable, and he's not always making the best choices.
I mean, for the majority of the film, he continues to make poor choices. Not to spoil anything, but there's a fire at the restaurant that takes place that is solely his fault, because he wasn't paying attention to what he was doing, because he was
and he had lied about having kitchen safety training.
He lied about exactly. He lied about everything. That's what was really a kind of a breath of fresh air about the chef character that Antonio Banderas did. He was portrayed, as a religious kind of guy in the movie, and he was always willing to continue to give people a second chance, and a third chance and a fourth chance, even if they were doing him wrong in a lot of different ways. He was a very forgiving type of person, and I think that was a respectful way to portray that character. I'm sure that these are all like characterizations of the real person. I don't think they're probably exactly like each real person, but I'm sure this was based on, I think, on one of the autobiographies that it doesn't say it's based on a book, but I really thought it was. That's interesting. I thought there was an autobiography that this was based on, but there's 4 different writers.
There's Kitchen Confidential, but I don't know if it's listed as a it is listed as based on in the Wikipedia. So
IMDb is just dumb then, which is not shocking.
But again, they took a very small part of that book and focused on the Cape Cod story, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So the girl that we keep mentioning, Nancy, was played by Amelia Jones, who I always have liked pretty much everything Amelia Jones is in. She was the actress that was in Coda.
Yep.
She was in a really great show on HBO Max last year called Task, and very different from this role. And she's also got a really good range as an actress. And I think she was in The Running Man earlier this year, wasn't she?
Last year.
Or was that last year? Gosh, it was
November,
year, wasn't it? Yeah, November of last year. So she's a great working actress. I'd love to see her take that next step and next level, but I don't know. In Hollywood, the only way to do that, I guess, is to be in an IP, and maybe I don't want to see her in an IP. So I don't know. I mean, I like her. I like her in these like smaller roles. I mean, she's just a really good actress. I hesitate to call her a character actor because I think she's a bit more than that. But not that there's anything wrong with being a character actor, but I mean, I think that she's got the potential to be a leading lady in something rather than just these smaller roles. But she's great in it. I think overall, I liked the film, but it ends up like the Dominic Sessa role of Tony it just didn't quite like hit that next level for me. Like another movie that I saw this week, The Rivals of Amaziah King, where that movie just hit like levels that I didn't think could be possible in a smaller film like that was, because it was totally unexpected what I saw in that movie, and I absolutely loved it. Tony was good. I'm glad it was the screen unseen. I'm glad I got to see it. And you know, no lamenting seeing the movie because I think it was a good movie, but I'm excited to see what Matt Johnson does next. I know he's got a big IP, doesn't he, that he signed on?
He signed on to do Magic, the Gathering.
That's right.
But right now he's shooting another smaller film with Finn Wolfhard that's based on like a drug bust that happened. Involving a Vice writer of some kind. Okay. I don't know the full story there, but he's shooting that literally right now while he's on the press tour for Tony, which is kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, he's in the midst of a lot then. Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie that we did end up picking as our kind of focus is The End of Oak Street, which is more your typical Hollywood blockbuster type of film.
Yeah,
in a way. I mean, blockbuster.
The movie starts with this score that I was like, man, like it's driving, it's like whimsical, of course there's like idyllic, like, oh, we're in this happy neighborhood kind of stuff.
For lack of better terminology, it felt like an Amblin type of score.
Yes, that's exactly. I didn't want to say that,
but that's what it is. That's what it is.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like an Amblin. I want more Amblin scores out there.
Oh, I do too. I'm with you. Those work. They drive movies forward.
Well, and I didn't realize it was Michael Giacchino until I said that in the Discord and you said that and I went, it was Michael Giacchino. That makes total sense. Of course he could do something like that. That's up his wheelhouse.
Yeah, he's a JJ guy. I mean, he works like if JJ's the EP, there's a strong chance that Giacchino's probably going to be the guy that does the score.
Yeah. So I think really, truly, this may be weird to say to some people, but I think the score may be the best part of the movie.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, overall, because it's the way that I put it, and I know that our friend of the show Pinky would put it, is that it's brain candy. That's kind of all this movie is. There's not much substance to it, although there is some good like family moments.
They got me at the end a little bit when they reunite at the end. Not to add a major spoiler there, but there's a reunion of some kind, of course, at the end of the movie, and
I'm sure you noticed
a little bit.
You noticed one of the characters. There was two of the characters.
Yeah, that's a different part of the ending.
That's a different part of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's kind of the interesting ideas of things happening in the background that I kind of like that they didn't explain.
Yeah, that's true. That's
because you don't need to get bogged down in that, and it can make you go, "Ooh, well, why is that? Let's have a discussion about what happened." And I mean, there's. That can help facilitate discussion for the film, but
and you could definitely tell. So David Robert Mitchell was the director. I think that's this guy's name. And he's got a background in the horror genre, and so he certainly utilized that to maximum effect as far as you can for a PG-13 film. There were some brutal kills in this movie, just brutal,
but not super bloody. Which is how I think they got away with.
Yeah, probably not super bloody, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they got away, and really good tension building, really good jump scares. Not like over the top jump scares, but some good ones. I mean, we're talking about dinosaurs creeping around corners. I mean, so of course there's going to be some jump scares. But I saw it in a packed house at a 9:55 screening on a Saturday night, and the crowd enjoyed it. The crowd was involved in it, and I was bummed to see the box office of it, but it's still, look, we've got Spider-Man and the Odyssey still like dominating in that area, and so it's going to be hard to get a foothold in. It did okay.
Yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. It didn't have great audience reception, a B cinema score. And I think I know why, because there are just choices that are made that I don't think vibe with the audience, and it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
A lot of split diopter shots too, which we can get to that later.
And maybe not good split diopter shots. Like they were almost like too foreground.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're talking about.
The choice made, especially like the split diopter does not have to be that way. Like, you don't have to. Anyways, but yeah, there were some interesting things done.
There were a couple good ones. I think one that's good is at the beginning when she's in the house with the lady. The lady's sitting on the chair and the background's in focus too.
Yeah,
that one's the one you almost don't notice is split diopter.
Right.
But then when they're having the family circle moment, it's a bit too close.
Yeah, it's a bit too close. It's just very strange choices. So the choice of the movie not really explaining much in the end, why all this, I mean, they kind of do, but it's real wishy-washy. Like, the whole thing is a bit wishy-washy to me as far as the story is concerned. If you're going to tell a story like this, I kind of want more of an explanation.
I really didn't need one.
I needed one because at the end of it, for me at least, I had fun with it just because it was dinosaurs eating people, and so that it's fun in that aspect, and you get to see the heroes do hero things, and so it's fun in that aspect as well. But I needed a little bit more from like the story. The mystery box was too boxed up. I mean, and it's JJ for you.
I guess I liked it because we didn't need a whole subplot of this scientific whatever that was doing experiments that caused the streets.
Yeah, they mentioned it a couple
times. Down too much. Yeah. You become 2 hours and 20 minutes or something, and we're complaining about how much it drags.
And that's a good point, because it is like I think it's a little over 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and so that's good. Like, it didn't need to be any longer than it was, because then you would want to, like you said, maybe waste time explaining things too much. So maybe you're changing my mind a little bit, and that and I don't look. My mind can always be changed on these things.
Yeah, there are different schools of thought for how you could go about it. I think ultimately this way works in a much safer way.
Yeah.
Because if you go the other route, you better have a good explanation, because if you don't, then it's not going to go over well.
Yeah, the way the movie does it is drop Carl Sagan's name every once in a while and mention anomalies and
wormholes,
wormhole anomaly things, and there you go. There's your explanation of what's going on. And
then a bubble appears every once in a while in certain places, and it takes you back to
sure.
the past.
Why not?
So
why not? Yeah, exactly. Let's make that work. The music was good just because it's set in 1982, I guess. And so the music they used throughout was pretty good. I liked the score a lot. It was this, like you said, it was kind of the star of the film. I like Ewan McGregor a lot. Mm-hmm. I do not like American accent Ewan McGregor.
It's not great.
I just don't.
I wish he just do his accent and go, because
it
was not very good.
Or even do, because his actual accent is like Scottish brogue almost. Like, even just do a British accent. Like, don't go like full Scottish. Just do like a British accent. Like, the American accent is just, he's never been good at it. Like, there's not been a role where he's had to play an American where he's ever really been that great at it. And somebody close to him finally just needs to tell him, hey, Ewan, let's just not with this. Like, let's just not. But I thought Anne Hathaway was fine. That's the thing with this movie, is the acting performances are actually kind of like the weakest part of it. The adventure part's great. The dinosaurs are great.
I think that they're being directed in kind of a weird way too, and I think that just may be David Robert Mitchell's kind of style.
Maybe, yeah.
Because there's just this weird air about the movie.
Yeah.
Just kind of like Under the Silver Lake, not like
that's true.
Not the story that goes
not
really
the story,
weird,
but yeah.
But yeah, just the characters don't really act like total people to me all the time in his films. And
yeah, they react in weird ways to everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, even Anne Hathaway picking up the gun and immediately shooting a dinosaur, I was like, I don't know.
Well, we see a picture of her later on with a gun. So at least later on they explain, oh, she knows how to wield a gun. But they didn't do it before she wielded the gun. So from a storyline standpoint, why are you showing the audience after she wield? I guess you're doing it that way to tell the audience it's okay. She already knows how to use this shotgun. She's, because later on we see a family picture of her with a gun. So it's very strange.
Ewan gets a sledgehammer, which I kind of liked.
I did love that scene. That was a good scene.
There's a scene where he uses it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Something happens, and that was crazy.
Oh man, the guy that was sitting next to me was vocal, and I don't mind that sometimes. He was like, man, this movie, like, and he said it loud enough where like me and the guy next to him could hear him say, man, this movie, after that particular scene happened. And I was like, that's right. So it's at least getting the audience to engage in the process. And I give it props for that. That's why, I mean, I think I gave it 3.5. It's a fun ride. It's an okay movie.
It's got those kind of like 80s Spielberg, 80s Spielberg feel to it. And I've seen a lot of people compare it to, Amblin or 80s Spielberg or whatever. I get that. It's not as good as a great 80s Spielberg film.
No,
but
it's not.
But there are some really fun shots. So one of my favorites is when he's being chased by one of the raptors, Ewan's character, and he's running along that fence, and it's knocking down all the things or interacting with the trees. I really like that shot, and I really like it because it's a cost saving shot first off, but it's a great tension builder too.
Yeah.
Because one of the things you don't want to do, and we can talk about Spielberg, like with Jaws, you don't want to show the monsters all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
You want them to be creeping around a little bit and not always, like, oh, there's a T-Rex chasing you for 90 minutes. You want to build that up and go, oh no, there's a T-Rex there now.
Yeah.
There's a T-Rex creeping up on the family all of a sudden. That drove I had some vocal people in my screening too. There's an older couple in front of me, and that one was driving the older couple crazy. They're like, run.
That's because look, I don't mind that stuff sometimes. When it's when it comes from a place of authenticity, I'm okay with it. But when you're in a theater and you're being obnoxious and being dumb, then I have a problem with that. But if you're engaged in the movie and you're like scared and like vocal, I have no problem with that. Like the movie's working. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And if that's the way you react to thing, that's fine.
They entered one house one time, and the older lady in front of me was just like, "Close the door behind you." Not super loud.
See, I'm okay with that. Like that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, those are low IQ people that do that, and that's fine. Sorry, my Rhettism just came out for a second. My bad.
Good Lord. Jeez. Hope they're but anyway.
That's right.
Probably
I hope they don't listen. No. Look. I had a fun. There's nothing wrong with the movie at all. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
There was some choices made that just from a shot composition, like some of those diopter shots I had a problem with, but for the most part, it was good. It's weird to choose this particular release date. It's one that was delayed.
It's
just. I don't know. It's late. I guess this was more considered mid-August than late August. Like, we're getting the Dog Stars in late August, and I think that's going to bomb even more than this did.
Oh, it will. Yeah.
I
Unless
think it will.
Things pick up, and I just don't. I'm not saying the End of Oak Street trailers were great. They weren't. But the Dog Star trailer to me like says nothing. Like I don't want to see it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see it, like I said, because it's a Ridley Scott movie. But I think it's going to be really bad for Jacob Elordi to be in that movie. I think that
it's a bizarre.
It's well, look, not on paper. You're like, I get to work with Sir Ridley Scott.
Well, and I've heard the book's really good,
and maybe the book's good. Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't know. It also just looks so bland to me too.
Yeah, it does.
Like some people complain about Hollywood looking bland all the time, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I think sometimes people overblow that stuff a little bit. Depending on if you're watching something on a laser projector, it really doesn't look that bad in theaters. It may look worse on streaming on your TV, but in this case, Ridley Scott really does look super bland with this film. I don't know what he's done.
Later in life, Ridley Scott is just become kind of this like villain character because of the way he holds aliens over everybody's head and doesn't let other creative people play in his playground that often. And so he's this weird old man villain, and I hate that because I think that he in the past has directed some really great movies. It's just kind of a bummer to see him later in his life kind of do this type of thing, but whatever. I mean, unfortunately, next week there's really not too much coming out, unfortunately, for most people. Now, for me, on the other hand, we get a Jason Statham movie in theaters next week. So my movie of choice, and I'm thereby forcing Garrison to go see Mutiny, because it's basically Die Hard on a boat, and I'm ready to see Jason Statham just kick people in the head a lot, and I think that's what we're going to get with Mutiny.
And if you want to like pair that up with something, not that we advertise for this for all the time, but we're not paid. But The Town with Matt Bellany, he put out an episode called "Where Have All the Action Heroes Gone?" this past Thursday.
Yeah, he did. You're right about that.
And I think it's a good pairing with this movie about the biz. If you're interested in the business of Hollywood and the business of action movies, he's got a producer on there who produced the John Wick series and Expendables and some other action films as well over the years, and has history and experience and knowledge about older action films as well, and an understanding of how things get made and how things don't get made and why there are not really a lot of young action stars. There's really a lot of interesting questions, not a lot of obviously solutions, because you don't know until it happens, really.
That's true.
Until the market decides, yes, we want action movies in theaters again, to do gangbuster money. But it's a really good listen, and I'm always some of them are not great, but Jason Statham movies in theaters, sometimes you get a beekeeper every once in a while.
You get a beekeeper, and here's the thing that the very super serious Jason Statham movies, which is what Mutiny is, I sometimes don't love. I like the more like humorous Jason Statham action films like Beekeeper, where he gets to have a bit more fun with it and has some comedic moments in it. Those to me are the better Jason Statham movies, but I'll go see any Jason Statham. The reality of the situation is, if you're not an action fan, if you're not a Statham fan, Tony does go wider. It's not like full, like 4,000 screen wide release, but if you're in a smaller town, perhaps check your listings, because Tony could expand to your city. And I super do recommend seeing that movie.
It's good. And if you're like an Anthony Bourdain, maybe not even fan, but just like someone who's aware of him, I think it's a good film to watch it. And again, it's not like a lot of biopics nowadays. It's not a film that goes, isn't this just the most wonderful, perfect man ever who did everything right and nothing wrong, and gave to charity and helped out kids.
It doesn't shy away from the darker side of Anthony Bourdain, for sure.
And it gets into a little bit of the drug stuff too. So
a little bit, exactly. But Leo Woodall, just watch him, because he's good in the movie too. I mean, very, very, very good in the movie. So if you missed Tuner earlier this year, catch Tony, and you'll at least get to hear or get to see what Garrison and I are talking about as far as how good of an actor Woodall is. Because I think, look, I would love to see him be the next James Bond, but that's just my personal take on.
Well, we'll know by the end of the year.
Yeah, we will know. That's what they say.
Said.
That's what they say. Yeah,
I think it was Pascal. Is Pascal involved in this now?
She is. Yeah, she's one of the producers of it, with Danae as the director and probably producer as well. But I think we may have just clocked our longest episode. especially with the
Possibly.
weird editing that you are going to have to do on it.
You know, we're not.
Or you're just going to not do editing. I like the not editing thing. That's fun.
Well, I don't know that it's going to be the longest, but it'll be about the second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be long. Oh gosh, I'm trying to help and show you this, but
you're good.
Okay. Whatever.
Where can people find you on the internet, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm on X at the Michael Nip. Mostly though, as far as my movie takes are concerned, you can find me on Letterboxd under my name, and then also as far as social media is concerned, I really spend most of my time in our Discord, which I will let Garrison tell you more about.
You can find me at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3 on Twitter. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun. You can find us at Cinema Debrief on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com if you want access to our Discord, or if you want to just send us a letter or, you know, a message about a recent episode. Yeah. The Discord's a great community that we have on Discord, obviously. Again, email us or DM us if you want access to it. We got lots of people there, lots of good conversations, different opinions on different movies. This weekend, I think most of us who talked about it seemed to like End of Oak Street, but I have seen plenty of people online who didn't love End of Oak Street. So
that's right.
You know, I think the audience reception has been kind of lukewarm with it. It's not bad. It's just lukewarm. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how people feel about it or feel about this episode, feel about Harakiri if they've seen it. How do they feel about Tony when it hits wide? Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week for the Four Feathers and Mutiny.